going on, people, and welcome back. This is another week of chatting in the city, going international. And today I'm here with a special friend, my guy, Kashi. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. How are you, bro?
Hey, I'm out here. I'm not too bad. Kashi is coming at us. Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
Yeah.
Kashi is coming at us from halfway around the world.
Okay.
He's on national team duty with Burundi, right? Doing it big, making me proud. So there might be a little bit of a lag here and there, but I think it'll be a good time. All right, so I wanted to ask you, tell me about this whole thing. How did it happen? Just break it down to me. I want to know everything.
Yeah. All right. So I'll start from the beginning. I've actually been playing in France for a couple months now. I went to France, started playing for a team there, semi-pro team. It's not a professional team yet, but I started there in October, and sadly because of COVID, I wasn't even able to play a single competitive game. Played a few friendly games, but wasn't able to play a competitive game because of COVID. The season got shut down. But yeah, I've been there since October, and this national team thing, it's always been a dream, being able to play for your national team. And it's something that it was in the works before. There was 2 games in the month of November, 2 national team games, and I was trying to get called up for that, but it was a bit too late, being that I just got to France the month before. It was a bit too tight to get to Burundi for those 2 games in November. But we started talking with the coaches and things like that. Myself, my dad, my agent, we started building that connection there with the coaches in November. I wasn't able to go, but that's where it started. That's where the conversation started. So now the next international break, which is when the national teams play, was in the month of March, which we are right now. And it started a couple of weeks ago. Like I knew I wanted to come here and play for this team, and I was talking to the recruiter of the national team and everything, and he basically, I sent him my videos, and we talked about more concrete stuff about what type of player I am and things like that. And yeah, I was able to get the official invitation, which felt really good. It felt really, really good. And I left when did I leave? First week of March. I left here, did my week of quarantine in the hotel, which was tough, but I did it, and started training with the national team on the 15th of March. Yeah.
So that was, what is it? The date today is the 28th. 15th was last week? I'm losing track of time. I have no idea. Oh, it was about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Yeah, it was about Monday, 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. What made you want to move to France? Because obviously, your family, you lived here in Canada for a while. You and I played on several teams together. We played club together. Yeah. Then we played at the University of Ottawa together. What made you want to move to France?
Yeah, I probably should have started with that. But yeah, I grew up in Canada my whole life. Spent my whole life there pretty much. But yeah, I just kind of got to the point at the beginning of 2020. I told myself that I really want to, take football or soccer to the next level. I wanted to see how far I could get in this game, and so start a professional soccer career, which has always been a dream of mine. And I got into contact with the right people. Actually, I think you know who it is, but yeah, got into contact with some people to get me a trial with this team and kind of start my career. I kind of just decided it was time, to get going and start it. And I felt like it was the perfect time because with school being online, I didn't have to put that on the side. I could kind of just keep doing school online at my own pace, sort of. So it was great timing, honestly.
I was gonna say that was gonna be my question. Like, you decide to make this big move, but you still have school, so like what's the situation there? But it makes perfect sense. School being online, you can still go out there, have training in France or wherever it is you are right now in Burundi, but still be able to catch your classes when you can. I mean 7 hours, whatever. But it's
Yeah.
you can still get it done. It's much easier. How did your parents react
To the national team call up?
to you making the move to be like, you know what, I want to go pro?
Oh, I gotta give a shout out to my parents because they're really, really supportive. They've helped me. They've been since I was a young kid. They've always like allowed me to fulfill my dream, kind of to allow me to get to where I want to be in this game. So they were really happy for me. My dad, I get my love of soccer from my dad, and he was really, really excited for me. My mom as well, like she doesn't really understand soccer, but she was really happy for me too. She's happy that I was happy. She's happy that I was happy too. Like,
Nice.
they know that this soccer is what makes me happy in life.
Wow, that's amazing. And so like, I'm trying to think. You get to France, and then obviously you work out the thing with the national team. You get the call up to come through. Um, when you got there, what was it like? Because like we said, you grew up here in Canada, right? I don't know if this is your first time back in Burundi, but it's a different culture, right? It's a different place. And so I'm wondering, like, what was it like being in campus, some of the guys who basically lived there their whole lives. Did you feel like there was a culture shock in a way?
Yeah. I get where you're coming from with that. I was born in Burundi actually. I was born there, but our family moved to Canada when I was 3 years old. And ever since I've been back twice, but the last time was 10 years ago, which is a really long time ago. But yeah, the guys were really, really welcoming. I don't speak the language very well. I understand it. I don't speak it very well, but they were nice to me. They taught me stuff. They taught me the language. I taught them English as well, since most of them don't speak English. So it was a trade-off. We were doing classes during lunchtime and stuff. We were taking language classes. They were teaching me the language. I was teaching them English.
Wow. Okay, so I'm curious about how how the national team setup works over there. Because you get the call up, right, and essentially you have a bunch of guys who come together, and the coaches are trying to decide who they're going to keep for their, let's say, 15 players, 13 players for the roster, maybe up to 20. I don't know how they do it, but within the call up itself and the camp itself, are there like different trials in the sense that they're trying to figure out who to keep and who they're going to let go, or is it just kind of like whoever we call in is who we want to keep?
Yeah. So the total amount of players that were invited to the camp was, I think we were 45, something like that. And only 23 were going to make the game roster for the 2 games. So they were going to cut people, I guess, as the week goes. We started training a week and a half before the first game. So they were going to cut people within that week, within the days before the game. And yeah, so we were about 45, I think, total. But some players coming from different countries were arrived later on in the week. So they weren't there from the very beginning. But yeah, only 23 made the game roster in the end.
And you're one of them.
No, I wasn't one of them because of the injury. Yeah, we'll talk about that injury after. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, that was my next question. Like, so the people come in, and then obviously, like you said, there are games that happen, and then they choose who gets to go through and who doesn't. But then you got injured. Like you were telling me that you got injured halfway through, and so my question was, how did that affect your? Well, my question was going to be, how did that affect your chances? But you're telling me that you didn't make the cut because of the injury.
Yeah.
And so I guess my question now is, how are you feeling about the injury? Because I mean, are you thinking if you hadn't been injured, you definitely would have been on the roster, or are you more, how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, well, I'm heartbroken, honestly, about the injury because, it was my first time here. I was really, really excited, and also not just that, but I think you kind of know me as a player too. I don't really get injured a lot, you know. I didn't even get injured by like a tackle or anything. I just did a weird movement on my knee and then kind of just popped. It was really, I injured myself, which is really odd because I'm not the type of player to get injured a lot. So it was heartbreaking, honestly. And I felt like I was doing well in the trial. You know, I was adjusting to the new environment pretty well. I spoke with the coaches a lot after my injury, and they said they were very impressed by me, by the way I played. You know, I think sort of when you look at me on the field, I don't have the physique of a center back, which is the position where I play. So I think their first impression was they were a little bit iffy, like, oh, is this guy really that good? But from talking to them after, I could see that they were very satisfied, very impressed by my level of play, and that kind of just hurts a little bit more because you're thinking, oh, I could have made the game last year, I could have played the game, you know.
But yeah.
It is what it is.
I was gonna say, like, you never get injured, and then you feel like your chance comes, and it's so close. You can taste it, you can feel it, and then that injury happens. It's not even like that somebody, you know, was a wild slap tackle. Somebody took out your legs. Tackle, it wasn't that. And so, because if that was the case, then you'd kind of like take the blame in a way and put it on them. Like it was that situation. Exactly. It was a tackle. That's why it happened. But getting injured, you know, just by yourself, maybe doing some, you know, some drills with the ball. It's like essentially I did this to myself. I got nobody else to blame, and I was this close.
Exactly. Yeah. All the work I've put in the last couple of months is just, man, it was tough. But I have to say, I'm really, really happy to have had this experience. You know, I feel like I've learned a lot as a football player just from even just watching the sessions after I got injured. Mm-hmm. Just from watching and talking with the coaches, I feel like I've learned a lot. I'm ready for this level, for this next level. And yeah, I'm excited for what's to come in the future. I'll be back for sure. That's the good thing about it.
Exactly. I mean, you know, I was gonna say that's something I was hearing. There's still hope. Like you said, the coaches were impressed with you. So, I mean, once you get better and there's another camp, then they'll be sure to reach out to you, get you out again.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay, so what's the next step? Are you gonna stay? Are you gonna stay in Burundi for a while, chill with the family, whatever, or are you gonna go back to France?
Well, so now the plan for off season during the summer is to find a fully professional club and sign my first professional contract. That's what I have. That's what I'm hoping to do this summer. And yeah, there's also a U23 tournament, I think, with the national team, and they were looking to invite me to that. It's also going to happen during the summer. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing this summer. Looking for a professional team, either in France or other countries as well, and hopefully being back here to play with the U23s as well.
Okay, so those are your plans for the summer. And I mean, I think the summer is basically here. I mean, over here it's raining, like it's madness. So spring is here, and you know, you said you just got injured. What's your timeline like for recovery? Because if you wanna get to the camp in the summer, like you said, or sign a contract, then you need to be able to do a physical, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I think the doctors here told me I have from today. I think I have another 2 weeks with the knee sleeve. I don't know what it's called, like a knee brace. The knee brace. I have another 2 weeks with that, and then after that, I can start working again to regain my fitness, regain the strength in my knee and everything. Which is probably when I'm gonna go back to France in about 2 weeks, when I'm gonna be able to move freely again.
Damn. Okay, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Wow, that's wild. I mean, like, you know, there's a lot of you know, because this podcast is about mental health, and like there's a lot of stuff that goes on, especially when players get injured. I know you rarely got injured. I've never seen you injured. I've been lucky myself. I haven't really had many injuries. Actually, in middle school, we used to play soccer in this like hockey rink, right? We had a hockey rink at our school,
man. Okay.
and we would play in there. It was almost like futsal, right? And obviously it was concrete, right? And one day, I think, one day a friend, his name is Tadic Huberman. Shout out to Tadic. He destroyed me, bro. He spun me, right? He did some move. He spun
like
me.
Tackle?
No. It was like, I don't know what move it was. He did a move. He had the ball. He did a move. He spun me.
Oh, you broke your ankle.
I turned around and I landed on my tailbone, right?
Oh.
Yeah, so tailbone on concrete. I could not walk properly for about a week. It was rough. That might be the worst injury I've ever had, but nothing.
In middle school, you said.
Yeah, nothing to do with me. So, and that was a long time ago. And like, but I'm trying to think. And at that point, it's just whatever. Middle school at lunch, it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
And then to put it in your case, this is the next step for you. You're so close, and you just see the chance sort of evaporate right before your eyes. And it must be extremely demoralizing and in a way somewhat depressing to be like, I was so close, and that happened to me. It's almost like, why me, right? Why couldn't it,
exactly.
Why couldn't it have happened after I'd made the cut? Why couldn't it have happened after whatever? Like you start kind of going back and forth and ruminating about all these things that possibly could have happened, couldn't have happened. That's why actually a bunch of teams have started investing into psychologists to come in and see the players.
To help the players,
speak to them about just everything to do with the game, not just like injuries and rehab and getting back to it, but just dealing with all the stress that come with it. Because I was talking to Abdul like a while back. It's like you need to perform every day, every single day. You can't have a bad day.
Yeah, it's cutthroat professional game.
Yeah, and that's that's one of the reasons why like I was thinking about this for a while. I was talking to a friend about it. I think the reason why I never tried to pursue it is because I think my parents would not be too happy about it because I'm the firstborn. I'm the firstborn, so I gotta like set an example for the little ones.
And, a lot of expectations.
But also, I think another reason is because there's something about, at least to me, something about commercializing the things that you love. Right. So I played soccer, football my whole life. I love it. I'll play, I'll keep playing it till I can't walk or till I can't run. But I feel like taking that love and then putting it to, in a way, a box of now I'm doing this professionally. I have to perform every single day. Right. It adds all this unnecessary pressure. In a way, I feel like I would stop loving the game because it turns into a job. It's not the thing you do with your friends because you love doing it, because it gives you joy or whatever. And I'm not trying to say that, whoever plays the game at that level doesn't have any joy. It's just that, like, the joy is connected to winning. You need to win. You need to win all the time. And so for me, I'm not trying to say that I was good enough to go pro, but I'm just saying that was one of the things that kind of like, I guess, held me back. But, it is what it is. Like, in a way, I get to live my dreams through you doing your things big. I get to watch from the background,
that's an interesting perspective. I haven't heard it put in those words before. Commercializing the things you love. I feel like a lot of people, maybe like towards the end of their careers, they lose the game. They lose their love for the game, I think, because of that. But me as a young player coming in, this is the only thing I love doing, and I'm gonna try to do this to the best of my abilities.
Yeah, and it's not to say like it's a blanket statement for everybody. Like you said, you're young, you're hungry, you want to do this, you're all in for it. And it's also like not a knock on capitalism in general. Like you shouldn't commercialize the things you love. It's like no. If you can make money doing the things that you love, you do it. But I just think that even if you're doing the thing you love as a job, as work, as whatever, you should still have things on the side that are not subjected to that sort of like, just that pressure, right? So for you might have something else. You might have music. You might have something else on the side that you do just for yourself, something that you do for the love itself, not something you do for, in a way, sort
of to ease the pressure around everything else. When it's a hobby, it's just to ease the pressure around life going on, whatever else may be going on in life. But when it's a job, it's more stressful, if anything. It's the biggest stress in your life.
Right.
And you have to worry about putting food on the table.
Performing well. Put it perfectly. That leads into my next question. Any hobbies you picked up recently?
I I don't know about hobbies, but I've been listening to a lot of music, you know, and I don't know if you could categorize this as a hobby, but just seeing family and being more connected to family. Being in Europe, you know, I have a lot of family over there in Europe, and I spent a lot of time visiting family, getting to know parts of the family I never knew before, and yeah, that's how I've been spending my time, listening to music and.
In a way, like I'd almost say, like that's almost better than a hobby because it's kind of like you're getting connected to your people. Social interaction, especially now, which is it's so important for a lot of us because we're all like locked in to whatever our houses. So getting out there and seeing people, seeing family, and also going back home to Burundi to see your other family and everybody else, your aunts, your whatever, cousins, nephews, all that stuff. That's pretty cool. Okay. Well, look, man, I don't want to keep you. I know it's like 10 p.m. out there. Is it 10 p.m.? What time is it?
So 11:15. But I'm okay now. With this injury, I'm on vacation. I'm enjoying it. Now it's a full on vacation.
I still I can't do it to you. I need you to sleep. Sleep is good for your recovery. So I don't want to keep you too long. So we do a little thing here called the PSA, promote, share, and ask. So if you have anything to promote, go ahead, and then I'll share something, and then you can ask me a question. So go ahead.
Okay. I don't have too much to promote, but I have two of my friends that make music, and I guess I'll promote their music because I believe in them, not just because of my friends, but because I believe they make really good music. So Easy Miessi on Spotify and Apple Music, and Shiminthecut.
All right, I'll find them. I'll have their Instagrams right here and all the links and everything else. Yeah. Did Ellie stop playing footy, or is he still?
He's still playing, but as a hobby.
Okay, I see that. I see that.
I think he's playing with the Gloucester boys, actually. The ones his age. Nice. He's been playing with them.
Ellie's he's too good to stop playing. But yeah, man, check out the guy's music. It's really, really good. Really, really good.
Really good.
I have all their stuff linked here below. And for my part, to share, last episode I was talking about sleep. The past couple of weeks have been rough for me. I haven't really been sleeping well. And I didn't really share some of the tools that you can use to help you sleep better and improve your sleep. And there are these things called Zeitgebers. It's German for time givers. And they include light, exercise, diet. What else? I think. Wow. Yeah, those are the three main ones. So the way they work is if you want to go to bed earlier and wake up earlier, it's called phase advance, right? What you want to do is you want to wake up early and go outside and view the light of the sun. So let's say you wake up at like 7. You want to step outside if you can, get some of those sun rays to, basically get into your eyes. And what they do when they get into your eyes, they hit your, they call it the master clock, right? It's right behind, it's above the roof of your mouth. What that does is like, it basically sets the time you're, air quotes, awake, right? It marks that time. And I guess like 12 hours or whatever, from that time, you're going to be ready to go to bed, right? It's a circadian rhythm, whatever, 24-hour rhythms. So you want to get outside, view the light of the sun in the morning, right? And then that will set the time when your body is essentially awake. And then if you can combine them, you can do wake up in the morning, get outside, view the sun, and then exercise if you can, and then obviously have breakfast. Yeah. It really, really sets your day. And then before you go to bed, if you can, again, go outside and view the setting sun. So for most people, about 6 p.m., wow. 7 p.m. Yeah. It does the same thing because the way that our eyes work, the bottom part of our eyes, which sees up, it takes in the light in the morning. Obviously, the light rays are brighter, right? It takes in the light and lets basically the brain know that, it's daytime. And then towards the sunset, when you go out there, the light rays are also different. There's a different color. It's basically like a different wavelength, right? So it's a different color in the sky. Yeah. It hits the same spot, lets basically the brain know that, okay, we're about to go to bed now. Exactly. Yeah. So it's very interesting the way it works. And because I'm not explaining it as well, but there's another podcast by Andrew Huberman. He's a professor at Stanford University and a neuroscientist. the name of the podcast is the Huberman Lab Podcast, and he did like 4 episodes focusing on sleep. So he breaks down everything that pertains to sleep, how you can basically use light, exercise, all these other things to help you sleep better. How you can basically mess around with your for people who have jet lag. I'm sure you had jet lag when you got back. How you can actually get ahead of jet lag in a way, so you can get ahead of jet lag while you were in France, right? So that when you got to Burundi, you would still be you'd just be going to bed without feeling any jet lag. So you can kind of get ahead of these things. Yeah, it's really, really cool. And so yeah, I've been listening to that, and it's helped me the last, basically the last week that I've been really, really using them, because I was listening for a while, but I wasn't actually using them. I was too busy. Yeah. But I've been doing more of it, getting outside, seeing the sun, and then, exercising, and then seeing the setting sun, all that stuff. So yeah, man, check that out.
That's really, really interesting. And I have to say too, for any athlete listening to, or not even any, just anyone in general, do not underestimate the importance of a good sleep schedule. Having your sleep schedule in order can change your whole day and can give you more energy and everything. It can help you in many, many ways. It's very, very important.
Yeah, energy, mood, everything. Like you said, especially at the highest level, you need to make sure everything is just almost perfect.
Yeah. There's a reason why on like professional teams they monitor your sleep schedule very, very, very tightly.
Yes, sir. All right. Do you have anything to ask me?
Yeah. I actually want to ask you something. I just thought of this right now, but do you remember the first time I played against you? The first time we played against each other? Because I remember.
I think I do. Oh my God, which team were you playing for? I know you were playing right back, right?
Yeah. I think no, that game I was playing, they told me to play in the midfield and man mark you. I'll never forget this game. Because I remember seeing you play. I think I saw you play a while before.
Okay.
And our game against each other was coming up. And so I already knew, like, I watched you play. I was like, damn, this guy is the danger man in the midfield. You can't let him get on the ball because he's gonna be the one to mess our team up. And so our game against each other came up, and Joey, Joey, he was coaching our team for some reason. I think our main coach was out or something, but he was coaching a team, and he told me, "Hey, look, go play in the midfield. It's not my usual position. For anyone that knows me, I play defense, but he told me go play in the midfield and man mark this little this short kid." I was like, bro, he's gonna have me running around the whole field, and I'll never forget that game. I remember it was at Tovet Park. Yeah.
Wait, were you playing for no, that can't be right. You weren't playing for Fiorentina.
I was playing with Hellenic, with the blue shirts.
Yeah. It's weird. Like for me, I don't remember games. It's so weird. Like I play the game, I'm in it, and then like soon afterwards, and like unless something happens that's like somebody gets injured or I get injured, I don't really remember games. Or like something funny will happen when I'll play a game, and then like immediately afterwards, my mind will go blank. I won't remember anything that happened in the game. It's almost like I don't know what it is, and then like obviously some of the details will come back to me. Like obviously if somebody scores a goal, I can remember that. But like generally speaking, games are not like I don't know. It's not to say they're not memorable to me. It's just I don't know what happens. I just don't remember them.
I think I have a pretty good memory for games. I remember games, especially when it's against people that I know. When I play with or against people that I know, those are the games I remember most. And I remember that game. I know you guys beat us. I'm pretty sure you guys beat us pretty bad too. Like at least like 2 or 3-0. I remember that game. Had me running around in the midfield, man, like a chicken with no head.
It's fun, huh? Playing in the midfield is fun, It's you gotta put that work in.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but you probably try to break my legs as you always do. You won the ball a bunch of times, so like you're trying. Nah, you're being too kind, bro. Like, you're being too kind. Everybody who knows Kashi is the man is dangerous. It doesn't matter where you put him. He's gonna get the ball. He's gonna win it. And then he's gonna push forward. That is what it is. All right, before we go,
Thank you.
I guess the podcast, we tend to focus on some of the more negative stuff, I guess, but I want to kind of flip it around and towards the end talk about some of the more positive stuff. What are some of the most positive stuff that's happened to you more recently within the last year?
In the last year, I think I found direction in my life. I found like where I want to go. Whereas before I was kind of just, I was letting life lead me to, I was letting life lead me in. But I think now I have a plan. I have a plan for what I want to do and how I'm going to get there. And I think that's the biggest change that's happened in my life in the past year.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people underestimate, direction and figuring out what it is you want to do. And then once you know where you want to go, then how to get there becomes a lot easier.
Yeah.
I think the same thing happened to me. I want to say maybe 2.5 years ago. That's when I decided that I actually wanted to try to push through and try to go to grad school. Just before that, I was at uni, just being a waste man. I would go to class, but like I wasn't really studying. I wasn't really putting in the effort. Obviously, there would be classes that I would enjoy, and so I would do really well in them. But it wasn't just sort of like I'm going to put effort in across the board for every single thing, every class. Do more extracurriculars, do this and that. But, until I figured out what it is that I wanted to do, and I set that goal for myself, I was like, okay, well, that's the goal. These are the things I need to do to get there. And yeah, man, so far so good. We're on the way.
It's easier when you're passionate about it. It's a lot easier when you're passionate about it, which is, I think that's like half the battle, just finding what you're passionate about in life.
Yeah.
A lot of people end up not even finding it, which is very sad.
It is sad. And, for a lot of us young people, like that's the big thing. I was talking to a friend, and what is it that you want to do with your life? She was asking me, and I was like, I have an idea, but I'm not sure. I'm only 24. Like, I'm not sure. And I was asking her the same thing. It's like, she was like, yeah, I'm not really sure, because she was about to quit her job, but she was, about to start another job. And so like, it's an interesting time being whatever in your early 20s, because you're trying to figure out where you want to go. Like, what is the thing you want to do for the rest of your life? For a lot of people, it's not easy to answer, and for most people, they don't even have a choice. They just have to basically, you're born into this. This is where you go. You have to do this to provide for the family. You have to do this. And so for us, we're more fortunate to kind of like figure out what that is and decide, and then work towards it. We can only be grateful. All right, bro, that was it. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I haven't seen you in a while. I miss you, but I know you're out there doing your thing, chasing the dream. I'll keep up with you. I'll keep checking in to see how you're doing. And yeah, man, I hope next time you get the call up, bro, you're making it. I know. I believe in you. You got this.
I'll come back on the pod when I'm an international player. For sure.
Yes, sir. Just let us know what it is. Update. Let us know which number they gave you. Let us know, if you got a sponsor for your booze, all that stuff. I want to hear everything when you come back on.
Oh, very excited for that.
All right, brother. Thanks again. Get to bed, bro. It's almost midnight for you now. Once again, thank you. Say hello to the fam. And yeah, bro, that's it. Everybody, thank you for listening. What is it? Oh, the podcast is now on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, everywhere else that you listen. So go over there, leave a comment, rate it. Don't be ridiculous. Rate the pod with what you think we deserve. And if you think we can make the pod a little better, hit the DMs, let me know. If you want to hear about more specific topics, let me know, and we'll try to get some people on to speak on those. All right. Peace.